What's up guys, Caleb here with Gears and Arms, and in today's video I'm messing around with this little high point. Got this gun recently as a gift. It's actually a Father's Day present, early Father's Day gift. And oddly enough, I've actually wanted one of these for a while. They get a lot of hate because of being ugly and clunky and cheap, but I like kind of unique stuff, so that's why I wanted one. And so I decided to just kind of tinker with this one. And what I'm going to be doing is making some new grip panels for it out of some walnut that I have. So as you can see here, I'm just taking the grip panels off. They're just held on by Phillips screws, one on each side, and then they just kind of like lock into place. And there you can see that's actually the magazine catch spring that I'm removing there, or putting back in, popped out. So the right side of the gun is more complicated as far as the mechanism. The left side there that I just took off, it's pretty easy. So I started on the right side there, and we'll get to it. So here's the walnut. It's 1/2 inch, and I'm just trying to figure out a good way to set these up so I'm not wasting a bunch of wood. Get them all laid out there and traced out. And then we'll take it to my old Shopmaster saw. It's a hand-me-down from my grandfather. And you'll notice right there, the blade actually came loose and actually scared me. You actually see me jump in the video. But get it all set back up and going again. I'm getting both sides cut out there. And then we'll take these over to my 2x72 grinder and just start doing some rough shaping on them with a 60 grit belt. Made pretty quick work. The occasional test fit just to see how we're coming in comparison to the old grips. And I've never done anything like that before, so it was kind of a fun experience. Just kind of using some of the skills I've learned from other tasks and projects and just using them on this. So now we got them roughed in. So now I need to start laying out where the holes are. But first, what I actually did is I took the opposite grip and laid it on the other piece of wood just to get myself a rough profile. And then we're going to use some transfer punches to figure out the correct location for that center mounting hole. And that side there is actually going to be 2 holes because one is for the mounting screw and then the other is actually for the magazine release button. And just a little bit of firm pressure left enough of an indent in the walnut. And I'm using one transfer punch to kind of keep myself centered on my previous mark, and then using the second one to mark the location of our magazine release. And there you can see that. And now we're just going to drill these holes out. And I'm honestly not sure what size that was. I just found something that was similar to what would fit through the hole. So now that we got everything drilled, we're going to move on to just starting to profile and kind of rough shaping these in. And so I'm going to switch out my attachment on my grinder. And I was going to start by using the slack part of the belt. You can see I'm trying to do here. It just wasn't quite working well, so I ended up moving to the end, right on that radius, and it worked out really well. Doing up on that slack part of the belt just started moving back and forth on me, and I didn't have enough tension. There was too much slack. But working on the end, like I said, it just hogged off the material real quick. And I was just occasionally stopping and checking and comparing to the other grip, and then also comparing or looking at the end profile to make sure I wasn't getting too thin. And here I'm putting in some grooves and reliefs similar to what the original grips had. And the radius of that skateboard wheel actually was almost perfect for what I was looking for. And then here on the gun, there's a little bit of a boss where that screw goes in, so the grip can't sit flat. So I'm actually just barely relieving the back and also countersinking the front for the screw. So the screw sits flush, and then also, like I said, I had to countersink that back for the boss. And then I also had to relieve the back of the grip for the magazine release mechanism, and also this has a magazine like disconnector, so if the magazine's not in it, you can't pull the trigger. And so there's a whole mechanism and bar inside the frame that I had to relieve out for that. And then just making some more marks here for some more spots that I needed to relieve on the back side of the grip. Just firing up the Fordham and using just a TC burr bit, and it just removed material real quick and real nice. And then a little more cleanup around the little locking tabs. Those actually lock it in the bottom frame, as you can see there. And there's just a lot of trial and error, try and fit it on there and then shape it some more. Another fitment, and we're getting closer each and every time. Right there, I actually had to file it some to get the grip to move a little bit farther back towards the rear of the gun. Now I am measuring out where there's a small spring that you can see on the bottom of the grip that actually interacts with that bar that disconnects the magazine, or disconnects the trigger when the magazine's not in. So that spring, I needed to make a spring to put into the grip panel. And so I just measured that out and then just did a small little relief there, and then found a spring that would work. And did just a lot of measuring and test fitting and trial and error. Had to measure the height of the spring and get that spring cut down to a similar height as to what was on the gun. And there was the first successful fit. Mechanism seemed to work, but didn't have enough relief for the magazine release. So I ended up I wanted to push on it more to leave a witness mark on the wood, so I knew where I needed to relieve. So grip comes back off, and then I got the idea of actually cutting out a piece of paper and then using my grubby fingers and getting a better outline and profile of the inside of the grip, because that grip had a few other little pins and and marks to kind of hold stuff in place, so I use that piece of paper as a template, and it gave me a better idea of where I needed to relieve stuff more. And here I'm laying the grip close to where it goes, and you can see that oval shape right there. That oval shape is what holds the magazine in, so that's what I'm kind of just roughing in a little line for myself so I know where to relieve more. A little more cleanup work and smoothing out some more edges just to make sure we're not going to snag up on anything. Trial and error and fitting it on there and testing and grinding. Hold it in place and we'll see if that magazine releases. Bingo, there we go. So now you'll see here, I'm actually doing a small another little hole. There's a pin on that old grip, and I didn't realize it when I started hogging material off, so I had to make a pin, and that pin held the kind of held the location of that bar. So I just cut down a small piece of steel stock, and I'm just going to use some DevCon epoxy. We'll epoxy that pin in place, and we'll also put a little bit of epoxy where that spring goes on the bottom there, just to hold those both in place. Once those are set, we'll let those dry, and then we'll be on to doing some final shaping and sanding. So I just wanted to clean the inside up just a little bit more, just for a little bit better look and smooth everything out inside. And then we'll just go to the outside and just continue sanding that all up and doing some final shaping on it, getting everything nice and smooth and feeling good in the hand. Get all the dust off of it. And then we're going to use some Danish oil, which I've used on this walnut before, and it just brings out an amazing color and it looks really good. Just rub that on there real quick, a few coats. And I did the inside of the grip panel as well, just to help kind of seal it up and protect it a little bit better. And this was really an overall very fun project, and it turned out really, really well. I was very, very happy with it. We'll let that sit, and then we'll get that thing put on the gun here. And it really, really improved the look of the gun. Don't get me wrong, it's still an ugly gun, but the wood grip definitely just gives a little more contrast. So in this one, just did this one side, and we'll just rinse and repeat for the second side, but there you can see a before shot with just the ugly plastic, and then after, just looking real nice. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and leave your comments down below what you think. Thanks.